Welcome to Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, Living the Dream, a show that celebrates ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Hear what motivated them to attain their goals, see which circumstances molded their character and turned them into everyday heroes. Learn more about this show and the hosts for Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod TV and radio on Facebook. Now here are your hosts, the Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas and Lori Boyle.
I realized that there was no turning back for me, that I wanted out of this relationship. And I was stuck in my vows, and I went and I talked to a Catholic priest. I was a practicing Catholic at the time. And he said to me, Teresa, get out of this marriage before he kills you. He'd come close once. This feeling of not being in the right place was kind of overcast by the fact that everybody had come out for this big wedding. And then I looked at my father, who had doubled up on his dentist appointments so that he could have beautiful pictures next to me. So I was the only one he got to walk down the aisle. In the center of my being, I heard God say to me, Teresa, don't do this. One of the things that I had asked him was to not be drunk and not be high.
As Lori was talking about the peer pressure and having your whole family in there, and how are you going to say, excuse me, I changed my mind, and pick up your train and leave. So Teresa, tell us about your life then with the abuse.
One of the worst things that happened to me was the night that he put a knife through my throat and threatened my life. And I said to him, you know, if you do this, I'm going to be dead and you're going to be in jail, and who's going to take care of our son? In that moment, he stopped. Again, it's gaining the control. He couldn't have the honor of killing me because I talked him out of it. So he had to regain his control some other way. When someone forces himself on you, whether you're married to them or not, that's defined as rape. A lot of people who are alcoholic and drug addicted, they go into what's called blackouts. He never recalled any of it. And there are a lot of women who have been in this situation that are not here to tell the story. One day, I got up and I was looking in the mirror. I was going to get ready for work, and I stopped. And I really looked at myself. Why am I still in this relationship? Why am I in this spot that I was in that moment? And that's where things started to shift for me, right there.
That was your defining moment.
That was my defining moment.
Well, your life has changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah.
But it took a few more steps for you to get this man out of your life.
It did.
Can you tell us how you did that? You had a plan.
Yes, I had to have a plan. My next step was to go for an order of protection, because there had been a number of incidents that happened that I could prove that this man was abusing me. Before I went to the courtroom, I had enlisted the help of a friend who kept me safe. I had left my home, I took my son with me, and I was under the roof of her house. My car was hidden in their garage. They had to clean out the garage to put my car in there. It was a horrible time in my life, but thank God I don't live there anymore.
What would you say to women right now who are finding themselves in the same position that you were in?
Tell someone, because the worst place for me to be during that time was inside my own head. Like really start putting how you feel down on paper. Focus on you. I spent so much time focusing on him, I had lost myself completely. My hope for you is, if you're listening to this and you've experienced a similar situation, there are ways for you to get out.
Kat Canavas and I really admire Teresa for having the courage to get her and her son to safety. We also admire her for coming on the show and sharing her story with us. If you're in the same situation, please contact the Cape Cod Center for Women. Their website is capecodshelter.org, and their hotline is 508-564-SAFE. Thanks for watching.
Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas and Lori Boyle.
Every single person who's listening to this, you are a ball of clay that has been transformed into a work of art.
And you're going to grow through the baptism of fire, where we're going to continue to explore going from the life of abuse and challenge the stressful relationships into total abundance, out that tunnel and into the light. And as you can see here, we have all of Teresa's gorgeous pottery, which she has channeled all of her emotions into to create this abundance.
Teresa Velarde is an author, speaker, potter, and transformational life coach. She will take you on your personal transformation journey using pottery as an illustration for your own transformation from a ball of clay to a work of art. Along the way, you'll learn how to unleash your power while connecting with your creative gifts and talents to live your most authentic life.
From the first time that I touched clay, I recognized that I had been given a great gift, and I denied myself the use of that gift for a long time and the pleasure of it. So as soon as I knew he wasn't coming back, I did just that, Kat. I turned the garage into a pottery studio. It was like all of a sudden my world opened up, you know. So, and what I also learned about pottery is that the art of making pottery is also an incredible illustration for transformation.
That's right. You
So-
went from a lump of clay into something totally beautiful, molded.
Yeah. If I can, I would like to take you through these steps.
Yes,
Yeah?
please.
Okay,
Great.
cool,
Yeah.
awesome. So the first step is that you have to prepare the clay. So anytime you want to change something in your life, you have to be prepared to change it. So when I wanted to change my life, I had to do the preparations. I had to have the bank account. I had to have the stuff ready. I had to have a little bit of a plan, and then the rest of it unfolded as I went, so that you can go to the next step, which is to center it on the potter's wheel.
Be
So-
centered.
You have to be centered. You have to be focused on you, and you have to go within. And it's you know, that's what I had to do. I had to go within and ask myself, what did I want? For a long time, stayed away from the spiritual side of myself because I didn't know what I believed. And I started to open myself to possibilities, and I have an incredible belief, and I have incredible, you know, incredible spiritual life. How would you like to mold and shape your life? What would you like it to look like? How do you want to refine your life? Like, what are some of the things that maybe some of the habits that you have that you'd like to change? And, you know, transformation is an inside job. You do it from the inside out.
Yeah.
You know, so what is it that you want to change, and take the steps in order to change them. So you go into the kiln, and all the stuff that is impure comes out in the kiln, so that it gets strong and hard. Then you glaze it, and you choose any color you want, and it becomes a permanent part. The glaze becomes a permanent part of the pottery, so you can create your own life.
And fire's going to purify you.
Exactly.
So don't be afraid of the fire.
Don't be afraid of the fire.
It's coming anyway.
It's coming
Embrace it.
anyway, right? Embrace it, use it.
And thank you for watching The Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod.
Now here are your hosts, the Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas and Lori Boyle.
We read about it all the time. Women who don't make it out, you know, alive.
Yes.
You know, they're in extremely abusive relationships. So this can be a life-saving program. And so Sherry is going to be sharing some of her insights with us.
You were in an abusive relationship for 13 years. You were
Yes.
married to a man who abused
Yes.
you. And you also made your way out of it.
Yeah.
But you went back to counsel other women.
They have that belief that, you know, things are going to change, and that he's going to get better. If I just love him more, he will get better, and he will love me.
You know, and by you saying that, believing that, and staying is just saying to him, I can do it again.
Many women who are in abusive relationships, they have been conditioned to think that they are unworthy, that they're not smart, that they can't really accomplish anything, and they're kept under the thumb of possibly an abusive or extremely dominant family member.
I don't think that we say it enough to children that if someone is making you feel bad for nothing other than being yourself, stop right there, because you're being bullied.
And for me, it wasn't my parents abused me. They divorced, which is very common. But for me, you know, it was very traumatic, and it caused that abandonment and that rejection, and it's so common. The statistics are that they go back to the abuser or abuser.
There is an organization here on Cape Cod. We'll have their information for you. The other thing I'd like to know, Sherry, is what if you're the friend of a woman who you see being abused? What can you say to her?
Being there for them no matter what, without judgment. Asking them what they want.
But sometimes you reach that point in your relationship where you're not only running for your life, you're running for the lives of your loved ones. When you're abused in a relationship, you might have grown up in a house that was an abusive home, and now your child is watching the abuse in your family. Somewhere you need to break that cycle. You've got so many women on your side. It's not like you have to go to another man for help. You go to these homes that Sherry's talking about, and you're going to have a family of women surrounding you. You're not going to be alone. You don't have to go through this alone, ever.
That's right.
Ever.
Thanks for being with us, Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod.